Hey Harmonizers, welcome to this video where, as you can probably guess, we are going to saddle Kibou for the first time. So Kibou, this is probably, I think, his session 10, and he's been doing really well. He's great on the cross ties. He's great for me picking up his feet. He's been good for the spray bottle. He's done a lot of obstacles. We haven't done cantering on lunging yet, just because I'm wanting them to put more weight on, and I don't want to get into like chasing stuff with him yet, so we've just done trot so far. But he has gone over little jumps, and he's done a lot of really good stuff. He's really good with his sideways. And so I thought now would be a great time to start introducing the saddle so he can carry it while we're doing our groundwork, because my goal for him is to be able to do some of the riding classes while we're down in Georgia, but also I want to compete him in Extreme Cowboy this year and get him ready for the Mustang class that's in Texas in November at the World Show. So that's our goal. So we have to start chipping away at this saddling piece and this riding piece. So he still has a lot of weight that he has to gain, but we're going to not do a whole lot with the saddle on. I don't want to hurt his back, but I just want to get him used to that idea. Now he does wear a blanket, and a blanket that has a belly strap, like a belly band that's pretty snug against his belly. So he's already kind of used to something that's similar to a girth, so I'm not expecting anything too crazy difficult for him here. But we're gonna give it a go. He's being a little bit fidgety. And if you're wondering what the white stuff is on his nose, that's some zinc oxide, because he had quite the sunburn before I had a chance to get him tamed, and now he wears a fly mask with a nose piece that's got UV protection in it, so I don't have to worry about that on him. But he had quite a nasty burn on there, so it's nearly fully healed up, but he still wears a little bit of zinc there, even though he's not always impressed about getting that done. So we're gonna give this a try here. So whenever I'm saddling for the first time, I never do it on the cross ties, because if the horse is upset about it, I want them to have the space that they can move around. I've already had them on the cross ties. We did brushing and picking feet already today. So I don't even show them the saddle pad first, I just put it on. And I always use the thin line pads because they've got impact protection, so it's gonna really help absorb the bounce and help their back a whole lot. Plus I can shim them if I need to shim them. So that was really good. I'm going to do it on the other side. Good boy, yes. Good, so that was no big deal at all. You can do it one more time. Good, and I didn't expect anything because he does wear a blanket, so it's really not that new for him, that kind of idea. So I'll put the other one on. He's wearing two pads because he's so skinny. I don't actually have a saddle that's narrow enough for that, because he really has like no top line whatsoever. So we're going to use two pads and hope that that will build it up enough. And then this is my saddle for one of my thoroughbreds. This is actually one of my custom saddles from Custom FX Saddles. They make really nice saddles. I love this saddle. It's got my logo on it and everything. Normally I would use a cheaper saddle for their first time with the saddle on, but this is my most narrow saddle because it was made for one of my thoroughbreds. So we're going to use it and hope that he doesn't scratch it, because I would cry a little bit because I love this saddle. It's a really nice one. So we're going to give this a try. I'm going to get myself situated. So this will just feel like a really heavy blanket to him. We'll see what he thinks. Good. Good, so he didn't do anything, so I'm gonna give him a cookie. But really, it's just like a really heavy saddle or a blanket, so I'm not, I wasn't expecting anything crazy reaction from him. So now I'm just going to put this off to the side so that way he doesn't get hurt by it. Good boy. So just moving around here, we can see that he doesn't care about the saddle. The weight isn't really bothering him. There's no girth done up, or cinch. So if he had an issue, it would just fall, which is better than if he went on a bucking spree to start with. It just lets him kind of get used to that first. So now I'm gonna let the cinches drop. Alright, so again, doesn't care about that kind of stuff, and again, I'm not surprised because it's really not that different than putting on a blanket. So this is the part where it will get potentially a little bit interesting. I'm just going to move him off of my lead rope there. So at this point, this shouldn't be any different because it's still loose. So before I actually do this up and hold it up, what I'm going to do is hold the girth and then take him for a little walk. Good boy. Yes. So what I was able to test there is if he had any issues with me holding pressure where the girth is going to be, also with that back cinch kind of just dropping around his legs, making sure that he's relaxed, and then my hope is that he's not going to go on a big massive bucking spree. But when you do up the cinch, it's important that it gets done up tight enough that if he goes on a bucking spree, that the saddle isn't going to rotate and go underneath his belly. So you do have to do it up, snug it up. So that's why it's nice to kind of test it out first. Good boy, just stand. Okay, so we're just going to take him for a walk and see what he thinks. I'm going to move him a step away from me first. Good boy. We're doing some fancy sideways moves. That's very pretty. Good boy. Good. So we're really not seeing anything yet. I'm going to offer him some more positive reinforcement. Good boy. Try to make this as good of an experience as possible. So when you're doing the cinch, you have to do it up tight enough that it's going to hold the saddle on, but sometimes when you're first doing a cinch on a horse, they don't know that they shouldn't totally let out their breath, so you have to be careful not to do it too tight that they pass out. So I gotta be careful about that. Good boy, buddy. So he doesn't seem too upset. He's kind of looking out because there's a horse over there. So we'll just take him around a little bit here. Good boy, yes. All right, so that's pretty easy. We're going to do a little bit of trot and see how that goes. And then I'm basically going to just start to do some normal groundwork with him and see how he can just handle that. So let's try some trot first. I'm super impressed with how he's doing. I hope you guys are super impressed too. The trot, no problem. Moving the sideways, no problem. You saw he did one little look at the saddle, kind of like, oh, like it's still on my back. So now I'm going to get the flag, which is something that he has not seen yet. And we're going to work a little bit with that. And then I'm going to grab the ball and do a little bit with that because he hasn't seen that either. So if you're wondering why would I do a flag next rather than like doing stuff about getting on, it's just about exposing him to different things. Good boy, yes. And seeing how he reacts, and does he choose to react by taking off, by bucking, by rearing? He's just backing up a little bit, he's not doing anything awful. So that kind of helps me gauge, you know, if I were to get on this horse and I were to upset him, what kind of reaction might I expect? So it's not really about the object, it's more about teaching him how to respond to new things. Good boy, yes. Good boy. So you can see there he's pretty scared, but he held his ground and he didn't go anywhere. So that's good. He's showing a lot of emotional control. That's really good, buddy. Good boy, yes. Good boy, yes. All right, so all of that is basically pretty easy for him, so I'm pretty impressed. The only other thing I'd like to see him do before I get on him is going over a jump. So I'm just going to stop the video for a second, get a jump set up, and then we'll try that. Alright, so that was basically really easy and a total non-issue. I'm pretty impressed with him so far. So normally I would do a canter before I get on a horse, but because he's got to gain a lot of weight still, and he doesn't have, like, he's not a super go-y horse, and I don't want to go to that place in the relationship of like really chasing him to go. I'd rather do more of this kind of positive stuff with the jumps and the trot and see how that goes before pushing him into the canter. I just think it will set our relationship up better. So, and I'm pretty happy with how he's reacting over the jump, and I tried different things with the ball and everything, and his whole attitude seems to be kind of like whatever. So I'm gonna get my helmet, get my safety vest, and we're gonna get a set of reins, and it looks like we're gonna put our first ride on Kibou today. Here we go. All right, so I've got my safety vest and my helmet. We're getting ready to do our first ride. Whenever I do my first ride, I choose to start my horses all just in the fusion halters because it's the same pressure that they're used to when they're on the ground. And I like to attach the reins, and they've already done a lot of steering stuff, but I just like to check in. If I pull back here, you know, can we stop? If we're walking, can we understand the reins for right? Or can we understand left? And all of that's really good for him, so we're going to use this pedestal as a mounting block, so that way I don't have to fully pull on his back. So that's looking really good. I'm going to see if I can give him a treat on this side. Good. So I want him to know that I can give him treats on the side like that I don't have to be in front of his head. I'm going to get a treat ready, and the first thing I'm going to do, a little pat on the saddle. Good boy. I'm just going to play around with some weight on his back. everything going well, I'm staying on the saddle, and I'm going to offer a cookie from up top. I'm just going to sit here and breathe for a minute and see how he is. Give him some rubs. Give him some more positive reinforcement. By giving him the treats from the saddle too, it helps me gauge how tense or relaxed he is based on how he's taking the treat, if he's even eating the treat, versus holding it. If he's snapping at me to take the treat, that lets me know that he's tense. But that feels pretty normal. So the first thing I'm going to do is see if I can turn him. So I'm just going to put a little bit of gentle pressure. Good boy. Good boy, yes. Good. Good boy, yes. So there's somebody pulled in. You can hear the car over there, and so he's kind of looking at that. Good boy. Good boy. Ooh. Good boy. Good, so the walking seems to be going pretty good, the turning seems to be going pretty good, so I'm going to try a little bit of backing up, but not towards the gate, so let's move out of there. If he gets stuck, tapping on the bum is what I do for lunging, so we do it in the saddle too. Back. see, but he's doing really, really well. He's going to try to get one little trot and then call it a day. So let me try here. Good boy. Walking. So trust me, I was tempted to do more because he was doing so incredibly well, but one of the things that you have to be good at as a trainer is setting a goal for yourself, and I said if I can do one trot, I'm going to stop, and then I have to make sure that I stop, and so he was amazing, and that's going to be a really good experience for him, and we're going to work on our halts and our backup and all those things, but the steering was good, he moved off of my leg pretty good, and all of that was great, and the fact that when I asked him to trot, good boy, he did his trot, and the fact that I kept it really short means that his back isn't likely to be sore. He's not likely to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I really don't want to let her on my back anymore, and that's important because in order for him to be happy, I've got to put his physical needs in there, and then that's going to help him give me his best. So, is it a good boy? Yeah. So I'm like thrilled and ecstatic. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Definitely write in the comments what you think. Share what your favorite part was. And what's going on here is he's looking out the gate because he can see there's other people over there. And so I'm telling him, no, you have to stay focused in the arena. Good boy, yes. So then I'll reward him for staying focused over here. Good boy. So rather than making a big deal about it, just make a correction. So he's going to do it again, so I'm going to say no. You have to stay focused over here, stay focused on me. So even though he had a really good ride and a really good experience, it doesn't mean that now he can become a rude pony. Good boy. So I made him stand like that for a while before I told him he was good. Good boy. So that time he resisted the urge to look outside. All right, so now I think we're done and we're gonna go head outside. Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know what you think. I'm pretty impressed with the little fella, and this is a pretty exciting time. All right, bye for now, guys.